Hi guys, a very good morning. Mamukase. Welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. And my name is Ronald Wekamakusha. And President Nelson Chamisa has once again said something very important, which we need to bring here on this platform. Our duty is to bring updates about the Zimbabwean situation. So President Nelson Chamisa, it was posted around 11:03 today, and there is a lot of significance in this post. That is the reason why I am bringing it here. My network is quite slow, so please be patient as I bring this right onto the screen. Right, I think it's here. President Nelson Chamisa says, fellow citizens, trust in this. What is in it? I believe in. Let them not mock you. He has never let me down before. He will surely visit Zimbabwe. He will show himself mighty and strong. You will love it. He is always on time. Ignore these mainly and shame sideshows. Don't say, I didn't tell you. Be happy, Zimbabwe. And he quoted Isaiah 33, verse 22, and said, one people. So if you want to understand how people are eager to know what Nelson Chamisa does or says, take a look on the number of views here. It's around 19,008, which means 19,800 people have seen this in less than an hour. Less than an hour, around 42 minutes, 43 minutes now. But these are the people who have seen this. So that shows you that President Nelson Chamisa is someone who is connected to the masses, who is connected to the people of Zimbabwe. And if you take a look on how people have been responding to his messages, how people have been managing to listen to their leader, that alone tells you something. If Nelson Chamisa was not in charge, we would have seen chaos, we would have seen other people leading their parallel activities, going against him, only to sabotage him and be glorified. But when you want to understand that God is in charge, you see it with how people respond. You see it with how people deal with certain matters. Everyone is saying, Nelson Chamisa, can you please lead? Even those who are agitated, who want things to be done quickly, they are actually asking, Nelson Chamisa, what is the way forward? That alone should tell you who is in charge and who is the leader. And that is very important. In everything you do, when people identify who their leader is, then it becomes easy for the leader to deal with certain issues. There is no confusion about who the leader is. And that is very important. And I applaud the Zimbabwean people for actually recognizing Nelson Chamisa as their leader. It's because we no longer have chaos. We no longer have different people saying different things and confusing people. The leadership is there. And if leadership is there, people look up to the leaders to make decisions. So let us go through some comments here and hear what other people had to say. Okay. And panapa, hello, Mr. President. Mamuka maka makumbotaura sezvakare. Okay, zvikanzi Goliath is tormented, and it's very important. And for sure, Goliath is tormented, and it's not a lie. We have seen chaos in and around ZANU-PF. Everywhere you go, even kumamisha, talk to some comrades from ZANU-PF. They will tell you kuti zvinhu hazvina kumira mushe. They will tell you kuti vakuru hazvina kuvamirira mushe. Why? It's because sometimes they are briefed on updates which are happening within the internal. This is false hope advocate. Trust the process, watch the space. So in it, I have learned in my life to trust the process. I've learned in my life to be patient enough. I was one of the people who were not patient enough to wait for a longer period. But God will always force you to be patient and to be able to wait, because you want to cut corners and you have to wait longer. You want to cut corners, you have to wait longer. And I learned to be patient from henceforth. So I believe that if you take a look, the response of Madara Edu Ezan, ndoinongokudza yega kuti no, something. But ukaona mukuru akutaura zviri frequent like this, ziva kuti yapadhuze kuti ichinge ichikwata. Poto iya yakwata yaibva and inenge yapadhuze kuti ichitanga kubikwa manje. Saka we are getting closer to Zimbabwe for us to understand what should happen, and the signal will be given, and you will see what is going to happen. Saka Anze, stop using God's name in vain. Stop listening to false teachings. So there are people who personalize God's name. I don't know why they do so. At first I thought it's a parody. God is in it. Okay, this is a six purpose. It's now time to mute you, Mr. President, for our mental health. This is engineering doctor. Right. And these are people who rush things to be done. Pane idea ndinayo nesuti inauguration. Okay. Okay, saka muri kuti pachazoitwa imwe inauguration itsva mugoannounsa yenyu cabinet panational TV here, my president. This is VG asking a very important question here. Okay, so Hanzi, we are betraying job seeker. We are being crippled. No, now corruption is rampant. We can't breathe. This politics needs politics, ideas, and strategies. Divide intervention doesn't work in Zimbabwe, Mr. President. Let us use a stone and a sling like what David. Okay. My question to my guys is, before David intervened, Goliath came out how many times and in how many days? When David finally intervened, haana kungosvika ndokubva atomhanya kuna Goliath. He first asked the questions. Who is that man? He wanted to understand who this man was first. After that, he asked for permission. Can I? You see, that was the second part. The third part was the part of preparation. Authority has been granted. He prepared himself. At a certain point in time, he was given armory, and he was given, what do you call it? Armor, and some shields, some clothes, nhumbi dzehondo. And he removed them and said, these are too heavy for me. Then he went on, he took out his sling, he went on, he started selecting stones. And Goliath was still shouting. David was quickly selected some stones, which he used to destroy Goliath with. It was not done in a second. So that is the point we are missing in Zimbabwe. That everything needs to be done according to time. I believe there is something very important. Let me teach you this, Team Zimbabwe. One of the days I was traveling from somewhere to somewhere. I was driving. So you get delayed on the road and you get angry. Why are these people delaying me? At a certain point in time, tatobuda tatorongedza. Someone said, atina kunamata. And you are saying, I'm late. And somebody is telling you, We went back, we prayed, and we left. You know, on our way, something happened. We were supposed to be involved in a very serious accident. But that is the day I learned to be patient. That is the day I learned to understand how God communicates. Sometimes there are people who would say, but amboudzwa kunzi rega kudai, amboudzwa kuti dai warega kudai, dai anga angoteerera, dai zvakati zvaitika, dai izvi zvinhu zvisina kuitika. God always communicates, but people are quick in terms of doing whatever they want to do. That is the reason why you see somebody will be carrying people and will be traveling at 160 kilometers per hour. Uri kumhanyirepi? Hapana. Ukazonyatsomubvunza chaizvo chaizvo kuti wanga uchimhanyira kupi? Hapana. I have observed it. You are driving along Masvingo Highway. Somebody overtakes you at 160 kilometers per hour, only for you to find him pamvuma. Vachitorana maselfie, vachitorana mapicture nefamily yese. But he's driving at a very dangerous speed. So it's in the culture of Zimbabweans to be very quick and very fast. But the question is, munenge muchimbomhanyirepiko? Hapana. So I always see people who drive at safe speeds. The majority of them, they reach their destinations well. But hatina kwatiri kumhanyira. That is the thing chandinoda kuedza kuexplain on Zimbabwe, kuti we are not rushing. We are not rushing. We have a lot to do with this economy. We are dealing with a system which must be removed entirely. And you expect that system to be removed in a day. It can't. This system has shown that they don't want to reform, they don't want to go, and they want to cling to power at all costs. And it's very important for our leaders to strategically find a way of dealing with matters. A lot of people will say Job Sikala is in prison for over a year and nothing is being done, you have failed. No, that is not the measure of failure. The one who put Job Sikala in jail for over a year is the one who is failing, is the failure. Because arresting Job Sikala will not change the economic fortunes, will not turn around the economic fortunes. Appointing your own relatives will not change anything. But everything happens for a reason. If you believe God lives, then you have to believe that everything happens for a reason. But sometimes we just fail to understand why God is doing something. So myself, I stand with what the leader has said, and I remain resolute, and I urge you to remain committed and resolute to this struggle. Hatina kwatiri kumhanyira. I always repeat, hapana kwatiri kumhanyira. So we have to dislodge this system and make sure that we usher in the people's government. But it will take time. Kana tichiti it will take time. A second is time. A minute is time. A week is time. A day is time. An hour is time. So let us remain committed. Let us remain faithful. And our leaders will lead us and will guide us through. So this is what I decided to bring Team Zimbabwe. Patrick Mkanyan's patient pays because they want results, but they have no patience. Just like the Israelites when they were going to Canaan. Yes, Israelites traveled for 40 years for them to reach Canaan. And in Egypt, they stayed there around 400 years. So I believe that we are already there. We are already there. We just need to exercise patience. Sure. As hope tongoramba tinayo hedu. Thank you very much, Nevers. Nano, zvikanzi hapana kwatiri kumhanyira. So do people suffer in the meantime? You know what, Nano? What I learned in life is suffer today and enjoy tomorrow. You can say, I don't want to suffer today because you want to skip some stages of life and suffer for the whole life. So it's inini, personally, I prefer to suffer today and be happy tomorrow. That is the reason why I'm giving emphasis on saying, hapana kwatiri kumhanyira. Let the leaders put everything in place for them to make something which is going to help us as Zimbabweans. Kana uchida kuzviona nanokei, svika kumba kwako une nzara, wotora poto yako woisa pastove, wotora upfu hwako wodira mupoto ipapo ipapo, wototanga kukwaya. Handiti this is something chandoda kuti udzidze nano. Tora poto yako woisa pamoto, woisa stove pekupedzeseresesa. Immediately wobva watora upfu wobva wadira wototanga kutobika. And tell me the results kuti unoburitsa sadza here. But somebody will come oisa mvura yake pamoto yovira, osika sadza rake rokwata, obika. Anogona kuita sekuti atora more time than you, but achadya sadza iwo wakamutarisa. So that example should help you to say, we know some things are being planned, but should they rush to do things? No. Unoziva kuti kana waikopa something kumukuru watinayo anonzi Emerson, enda ku2005 kuna nacholocho declaration. That cholocho declaration shows you kuti this man was strategizing and planning for a very long time. Up to 2017, that's when he was successful. All along, he was working on strategies. So patience pays, speed kills. We cannot continue to make mistakes. This time around, we need to make sure that we do something without mistakes. Okay. Hanzi timire kusvika nguva inini wangu waita chironda ndichiona dambudzo nemhuri yake vari kuita Zimbabwe kunge tuckshop yavo. So that is the reason why I gave you an example yekuti kana uri kumba kwako izvo zvichimbotora poto ugadze pamoto wotodira mvura wobva wadira upfu wotora mugoti wako umbobika undiudze kuti unenge wabika chii. Kana rikaibva sadza iroro, then we will blame Advocate Nelson Chamisa for not quickly taking measures to stop this madness. So inini I believe in processes, I believe in time. Inini ndiri kutodawo change. Ininiwo tichida kutaura chokwadi ndiri munhu akatononokerwawo, but I am patient enough because I understand that this thing cannot be done semunhu ari kudzinga nhunzi. The only easiest thing which can be done quickly kudzinga nhunzi. But what we are doing right now, it needs strategy, it needs everybody on board, and it must be done without failure, because once you fail, then you are doomed forever and forevermore. Ask the guys who quickly made their moves and they are still stuck in diaspora. Ask vanasevia kasuku, they will tell you kuti vakamhanya kumedza kutsenga kuchada ndokubva vakanganisa zvinhu zvakanga zviripo. It's because of not respecting chinhu chinonzi time. So it is what it is, Team Zimbabwe. I don't want to take much of your time, and I hope that you will be patient enough and will continue to actually follow what the leaders are actually saying. Okay. Thank you very much, Nano. Meditation, and it's no longer Zimbabwe, it's Mnangagwa and Sons Private Limited. Okay, Zanele Majamini, thank you very much, Zanele, for coming. Thomas, thank you very much, Thomas, as well for coming here. Thank you very much, Team Zimbabwe, for the contributions, and thank you very much for the support. Let us continue to like, to comment, and to share. Zvikanzi kumhanya handi kusvika hama dzangu, tinosvika chete rino gore nderedu matriple C. Thank you very much, Zanele. Hanzi tine dambudziko rekusagona kumirira kana usingagone kumirira simukaka uite zvinokukasikira. Okay, so I agree with these contributions, because what always happens is people will say be quick to do A, B, C, D, but kana zvashata zvonzonzi hapana kwataimhanyira takamuudza, gara wagadzirisa zvinhu zvako. Everyone will be blaming you. So I believe this time we cannot rush to make decisions, because remember, some decisions you will be negotiating with people in other countries to actually intervene. Then you can't rush them. They have their own programs, they have their own things. Ike zvinezvi kune United Nations General Assembly iri kuitwa, a lot of leaders are attending that summit, and you will be needing your things to be done in haste. Vamwe vacho vanenge vatokudza kuti chimbogara touya tichitaura nyaya yako tadzoka, and for sure vanenge vachiuya vachizoitaura vadzoka, but havakwanisawo kumboregoita business ravo. Saka we have to understand kuti you don't live in a vacuum where you do whatever you want. You have to trust the processes, do things according to the processes, so that you don't make mass mistakes. So I love you all. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for the support. Keep on subscribing, commenting, as well as sharing.